Imagine this. You have to choose between your company, your entire empire, and your principles. Well, for one founder, that choice wasn't just a hypothetical. It led him into self-imposed exile and sparked the creation of a global platform for digital freedom. So let's get into the story of Pavel Durov. Wow. I mean, it really doesn't get any more blunt than that, does it? This isn't some fluffy corporate mission statement. Nope, that's a line in the sand. It's basically a declaration of war against anyone, anywhere, who wants to snoop on user privacy.
So you gotta ask, who is the guy behind a statement like that? How on earth did he manage to build a digital empire specifically designed to be a fortress against the world's most powerful governments? All right, let's dig in.
Our story doesn't start in some garage in Silicon Valley. Not at all. We're heading to St. Petersburg, Russia. See, before he was a globe-trotting digital nomad, Pavel Durov was known by a very different nickname, Russia's Zuckerberg. And look, he wasn't just cloning a successful idea. VK became this massive cultural phenomenon, and it was perfectly tuned for the Russian-speaking world. The craziest part? He was just 22 years old. He'd built a digital kingdom from scratch. But, as you'll see, being king comes with some serious risks. And this is where everything changes. I mean, it's one thing to build a platform that allows for free expression. It's a whole other ballgame to defend it when an authoritarian state comes knocking. This is where Durov's principles were about to be put to the ultimate test. The pressure didn't happen all at once. It was more like this slow, methodical squeeze. It kicked off in 2011, a demand to shut down opposition pages. He said no, flat out. Then, in 2013, the stakes got way higher. They wanted the private data of Ukrainian protesters. He refused again. By April 2014, the game was over. Durov was forced out of his own company, and VK was basically swallowed up by the state. And that was his reasoning, right out in public. Now think about that. For pretty much any other CEO, business interests are the most important thing. That's the whole point. But for Durov, the platform's core values were completely non-negotiable, even if it meant losing everything he had built. So you see, the fall of VK wasn't just a failure. It was a lesson, a really, really hard lesson. It became the perfect blueprint for what not to do. Durov learned you can't build a fortress for freedom on land that someone else controls. You have to build it nowhere and everywhere, all at once. So what do you do after you lose your company and become an enemy of the state? Well, if you're a Pavel Durov, you don't back down. You regroup, you learn, and you build something that they can never, ever take away from you. Okay, and this part is so important. Telegram wasn't just some random new app idea. It was literally born from the ashes of VK. It was engineered from its very first line of code to resist the exact kind of pressure that destroyed his first company. This wasn't just a new product. It was an act of rebellion. And this gets us to the core philosophy, this idea of digital sovereignty. It's the radical belief that a platform can be like its own nation, with its own laws written in code, accountable only to its users, not to the shifting politics of the physical world. It's a wild idea, but he was dead set on making it real. Okay, but let's be real. How do you actually run a global platform with almost 1 billion users while staying stateless and nimble? Well, Durov's answer was basically to take the standard tech playbook and just throw it in the trash. Seriously, I want you to just take a second and let this number sink in. 30. That's it. Not 30,000, just 30. While other tech giants are building these massive corporate campuses for armies of employees, Telegram runs on a tiny elite crew. It's unbelievable. And that quote just nails the whole philosophy, doesn't it? It's not about headcount, it's about what he calls talent density. He literally goes out and hires the winners of global coding competitions, these absolute geniuses. And the result? Pretty much zero bureaucracy and the speed to run circles around the big guys. And this philosophy leads to a totally different kind of company. I mean, check this out. There's no HR department. Durov handles all the hiring personally. There's no headquarters. The team is nomadic, which prevents any single country from having power over them. And their money-making strategy is based on user choice, not user surveillance. It's like the anti-corporation. Oh, and we can't forget the secret weapon here, because this isn't just Pavel's show. His brother, Nikolai, is the technical mastermind behind the curtain, a world-class mathematician who personally designed the powerful encryption that keeps the entire platform secure. Okay, So, we've got the backstory, the philosophy, the crazy small team. Now let's see how this all comes together into a coherent, battle-tested strategy you could call the Durov Doctrine. And look, these principles aren't just talk. Telegram has gone head-to-head with governments all over the planet. In Russia, they got banned, but used all sorts of technical tricks to stay online anyway. In Iran, they gave up a huge market rather than agree to censorship. And even in a democracy like France, Durov publicly refused to silence political voices at the request of intelligence services. The consistency is pretty remarkable.
So the big question is, how does this thing actually make money? Well, the key is he completely rejects the model of surveillance capitalism. He is not selling your data. There are no creepy, targeted ads following you around the internet. Instead, it's all funded by things like optional premium subscriptions and small, non-intrusive ads in huge public channels. And for anyone out there thinking, yeah, but that's not a real business model, well, you might want to look at the numbers. In 2024, Telegram didn't just survive, it thrived. It hit over $1 billion in revenue, and for the very first time, it became profitable. It's proof that you can build a massive platform without selling out your users.
So let's just boil it all down. What is the Durov Doctrine? It really comes down to 3 things, all learned the hard way. Number 1, serve the user, not the state. That's a direct lesson from the Kremlin's demands. Number 2, build for sovereignty, because having a physical HQ made VK an easy target. And number 3, put principle over profit, a lesson he proved he was willing to follow when he gave up his entire first company for it. Which leaves us with one massive question, doesn't it? As the internet gets more and more walled off, carved up by national interests, can an idealistic, stateless platform like Telegram actually survive in the long run? Pavel Durov has bet his life and his fortune that the answer is yes. But the real question is, will he be right?